Hello, good morning all audience, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for coming in our class today. It's great to see you all. How are you all? I hope you are always fine. Okay, let's make introduce myself. My name is Izza Miftahul Fikri. I am from English education, student from class 2021, class D of STKB PBI Sidoarjo. On this occasion, I will discuss about word class. What is word class? And what is the purpose of word class? Okay, so now to please watch this video calmly and carefully so that all understand. Word classification based on traditional grammar. Based on traditional grammar, words are classified into 10 parts of speech from Soikami. Number 1, these are nouns. What's nouns? Nouns are words used to name or refer to people, things, place, and areas. In other words, it refers to both physical objects and abstract concepts. Nouns can be exemplified by words like the one below. Physical objects, for example, desk, house, telephone, floor, water, wind, and others. Abstract concepts, for example, of time, idea, opinion, egg, difficulty, and others. From the example above, it can be seen the noun do not refer to physical object, but also abstract concepts that exist in this world. Based on their shape, nouns are divided into two, namely, number 1, concrete nouns. Concrete nouns are nouns that can be observed by the 5 senses, so that it's concrete or refers to an object directly as mentioned above. For example, book, eraser, bottle, flower, chair, classroom, star, moon, fire, wind. And number 2, abstract nouns. Abstract nouns are nouns that are not observed by the 5 senses. In other words, this noun is abstract or has a material concept. Nouns of this type are usually marked with the suffix h, egg, anch, anchi, iron, cyan, tin, doom, hood, is, ism, man's, niece, ship, Haiti, Thai. For example, happiness, emergency, felicidad, freedom, communism, motivation, affection, idea, love, spirit, life, time, act, and other. The function of the noun itself, this word. Number 1, as subject. For example, life is wonderful. Number 2, as object. The author has published his new book. Number 3, as object of preposition. We are going to fly to Jakarta tomorrow. Number 4, as subjective complement. For example, he is Jones. Number 5, as objective complement. For example, Mr. and Miss Saint named their baby Arthur. Number 2, verbs. Verbs are words that show the meaning of activities and conditions for circumstances. The meaning contained in the verb can be exemplified by the sentence below. I forgot to tell you that Mr. Morris will depart at 8 that 13 tomorrow. The other verb in the sentence above. The first verb forget expresses a condition or state forgetting. Will the rest tell and depart so activity or activity. Tell and go. Semantically, verbs in English are divided into two groups, namely dynamic verbs. Dynamic verbs are verbs that show activity, so it is also called action verb. For example, run, walk, sing, read, take, bring, climb, jump, swim, eat, drink, drive, fly, and other. Number 2. Stative verb. Stative verb are verbs that express conditional or concrete statements. Therefore, it is also known as a state verb. For example, love, hate, like, dislike, have, own, possess, now, forget, believe, become, and other. The set and change in form verbs are divided into two, namely, number 1, regular verb. Regular verbs are verbs that have regular form change in verb 2 and verb 3, done by ending d or ed. Verb 1 infinitive, for example, cook. Verb 2 past tense, for example, cooked. Verb 3 past participle, for example, cooked. Number 2, irregular verb. Irregular verbs are verbs whose shape change irregularly in verb 2 and verb 3. Verb 1, read. Verb 2, read. Verb 3, read. Transitive and intransitive verb is set on the needs of the object case. Verbs are classified into two groups, including number 1, transitive verb. Transitive verbs are verbs that require an object. Furthermore, this type of verb is still further divided into two, namely E. Motor transitive verb, single object. B. Intransitive verb. Number 2. Intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs are verbs that do not require an object. Type of verbs are grouped into two, including E. Complete partition. Complete partition occurs when the C plus verb arrangement can be understood clearly and thoroughly. B. Incomplete partition. Incomplete partition occurs when there is an subject plus verb arrangement, but its meaning cannot be understood clearly and thoroughly. This intransitive verb still needs complete. Broadly speaking, the verb functions in English are as follows. Number 1, ordinary. The main verb is as an indicator of a sentence. Without an ordinary verb, the arrangement of words cannot be called a sentence. In other words, the exchanges of ordinary verb in a sentence is absolute, because ordinary verb contain meaning or meaning in it, and this verb accomplishes the last part in a series of verbs. Based on its ordinary verb, the sentence can be divided into two, namely E. Verbal sentence. Verbal sentences are sentences whose ordinary verbs are not member of PE. For example, am, is, are, was, were, be, been, being. For example, we are studying. B. Nominal sentence. Nominal sentence are sentences whose ordinary verb are in the form of be. Am, is, are, was, were, be, been, being. For example, the girls are very beautiful. 2. Auxiliary. In contrast to ordinary verbs, auxiliary verbs do not have a clear meaning or are meaningless and meaningful. However, its action test is intended to assist into the formation of tenses. And in series of verbs, auxiliary occupies the part before the last verb. For example, each student is writing of compassion. Jim, Tom, and Parker have been playing basketball for an hour. He had passed the final examination. Number 3. Adjectives. Adjectives are words that function to explain, describe, or limit pronouns, other nouns that are still general. The use of adjectives can be exemplified by the following phrases. Car, general. Black car, specific. Funky black car, more specific. The funky black sport car, very specific. When someone mentions a car, we don't know what the car is, because it's still too general. However, by adding adjectives like funky, black, and sport, the car becomes specific and easy to identify. In this case, the more adjectives exist, the more specific the noun is. Adjectives are used to limit command nouns or pronouns like this. The following are types and examples of adjective in English. A. Descriptive noun. Descriptive adjectives are adjectives that describe or explain the state of a noun or pronoun, which includes size, shape, color, smell, taste, and so on. For example, a handsome, tall, young, smiling, wit man. B. Limiting adjective. A limiting adjective is adjective that narrows or limits a noun or pronoun with providing information about the circumstances, types, and so on. Limiting adjectives are grouped into several parts, among others. Article adjective. An article adjective is an article that is placed in front of a noun, member, and an. Or an in used for singular nouns that are still general but clear. For example, a baseball is round. What is meant here is the baseball in general. 2. I saw a boy on the street. We do not know which boy is meant. Broadly speaking, the function of adjective in English is as follows. Number 1, subjective complement. For example, his idea is brilliant. Objective complement or object description. Let's make it possible. 3, a modifier of non-phrase, full scale and economic word. 4, head of adjective phrase or core adjective phrase. For example, completely new. Comparison, the grace. For example, this version is better than the previous one. Number 4, adverbs. What do you know about adverbs? In simple terms, adverbs are used to explain or provide general information about verbs. Adjectives are even that adverb itself. Adverbs usually end in "a" to describe the verb of adjective that comes before it. Can you imagine what an adverb is? For more details, let's check below and things you need to know above adverbs definition. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, an adverb is one of the four major word classes, along with nouns, verbs, and adjectives. That is, adjectives can be transposed by nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Usually, we use it to clarify the word in front of it or to clarify the adverb itself. Adverb usually end in "I", such as clearly, quickly, luckily, and so on. However, there are some that do not end in "I". Now, one in terms of use, you might already be used to speaking or writing. But did you know that adverbs are divided into several types? Adverb of time. It is an auxiliary word used to provide additional information about time. For convenience, this adverb is used to answer all questions that begin with when. What are some examples? I really go to movie. There seems the ticket private with up. Adverb of manner. It is an auxiliary that provides additional information about the condition or how an event occurred. In simple terms, this adverb is used to answer the question of how. This adverb includes badly, beautifully, better, bravely, careful, fast, hard, quickly, slowly, inadequately, healthy, will, and so on. Let's look at the example below if it is employed in a sentence. Anything you can do, I can do better. 2. Adverb of place. It is an auxiliary word that gives us as answer about a place or when questioned in English. Example of words from this adverb are above: why, below, down, hard, inside, near, outside, there, up, and so on. What if it is apparent in a sentence? But that jar above the cupboard along with the other empty jars. I am not allowed to play outside the house after 6 p.m. Adverb of danger. Usually, this auxiliary is used to answer the question, how much? However, the question does not always as nominal but can be used to as an auxiliary and. For example, she looked extremely tired after cleaning the workhouse. Number 5. Pronouns. A pronoun is a word with the function to replace a noun. The use of pronouns in sentence can be exemplified the sentence below. For example, Cook is my classmate. He appears to be the most handsome in the class. So many girls like him. Cook or nouns. Cook nouns. In the first sentence is replaced with he and him in the next sentence. So they are called pronouns. This pronoun is used to avoid the repetition of a noun in a sentence. The following are types and examples of pronoun in English. Personal pronoun. Personal pronoun or personal pronouns their personal, then this pronouns consists of subject. For example, I, you, we, they, she, it, he. Our object, me, you, use, them, her, him, it. For example, this correct. John and I will go to school. This is I of the subject. Number 2, correct. John and me will go to school. Object, me. Possessive pronoun. The possessive pronouns are possessive pronouns that are not followed by a noun. Mean, yours, ours, theirs, hers, his. Mean, yours, ours, theirs, his, family, his, male. For example, the book on the table is hers. Is yours. David is a friend on mean. 3. Demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns are words that are not followed by a noun. This, that, this, those are for singular or uncountable. That for singular or uncountable. This for plural. That for plural. For example, this is my house. House. In house is singular. This is plain water. For father, uncountable. There are the movies I want most to see. Movies for plural. Those are the people who helped me yesterday. Pupil, plural. Broadly speaking, the function of pronouns in English are as follows. Subject, he is my math teacher. Object, no one called here yesterday. Object of preposition or object of preposition. For example, I am afraid of them being offended. The last subjective complement. For example, it is me who texted you via VR. Then objective complement. For example, they simply met in hers. Then question word. For example, what is this? The last conjunction. For example, the software that they used in the research was HDL Trudas. Number 6. Number are divided into two parts. Number 1, cardinal number are numbers that say how many of something there are. Cardinal numbers are usually used to describe the number or quantity of an object. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For example, my mom bought me 2 new clothes. If we look at the example above, it can be said that the number used serves to explain the number of objects in the sentence: 2 clothes, 5 counters, and 10 events. If you find a sentence like this, then the sentence uses a cardinal number. Number 2, in addition to the cardinal number, in English there is also an ordinal number. An ordinal number is a number that indicates the position of something in a list. An ordinal number are also usually used to describe a question for state. For example, the first, second, third, and order. For example, then, I'm going through section to give birth to my third child. It can be seen from the example above. The number used is to index to position or level of the third child, which indicates the meaning of the third child. 7. Preposition. Prepositions are words that are placed before nouns, pronouns, noun phrase, noun clauses, and grounds. Object of preposition. For example, I have no idea of what you're going to do. Of is also a preposition, and what you're going to do is noun clause. From the sentence above, it can be said that the preposition is followed by the object, which can be a noun, pronoun, noun phrase, and clauses. Number 8. Conjunction. Conjunction are words that are used to connect a equivalent language unit. Word with word, phrase with phrase, clauses with clauses, sentence with sentence, and so on. The use of conjunction can be exemplified by the sentence below. For example, we went home after the